Good morning, folks. Welcome to 10,400 miles from Katy Putin, Philippines. I am now back in Newport, Tennessee. When I left for the Philippines, there was a hurricane that had made landfall. It had not made it to this area at the time. But I will say this, thanks to Verizon, and they're not advertising this whatsoever. But if you would like to, contact me. But a special thanks to Verizon. If you ever go to the Philippines and have Verizon, I had excellent service the whole time I was there. Very, very few spots that I didn't have service. But anyway, this is actually the second part that was pre-planned even before the hurricane even made landfall. This was the whole intention anyway. I was going to the Philippines. I was going to get everything set up there, get people hired and in place, locals there, and then I was coming back to Tennessee. A lot of people that know me, I've been through a divorce this year, and in the process of that, my sugar levels just started skyrocketing, and there was no control of it. About a month before I went to the Philippines, I was in the emergency room getting IVs pumped in me because my sugar level had jumped up to 600. But anyway, I went on and made the trip, did what I said I was going to do. And actually, a good thing, the trip actually probably ended up saving my life, because I got over there and I started eating the way you should. Not all this pre-packaged stuff like we have here. Well, needless to say, now it's still high, but my sugar level has come down to 190, and I didn't take any of the medication with me over there. But I had consulted a doctor over there, and he told me, he said, pretty much leave that mess here because they're killing you with it. So anyway, I got over there, got to eat natural stuff, and my caretaker that had everything planned out and took care of me while I was there, I was taking moringa, just plants, stuff like that, okra and water. It's amazing what it does. But anyway, sugar level's down to 190. No medication, just eating right. But anyway, I fly back to Virginia, and it's probably the roughest flight that I've ever had in my life. There was a typhoon just north of Manila when I left, so my second flight canceled. So there I sat in the so-called worst airport in the world for 12 hours with no security. And then I finally get on another plane, and we start across the Pacific, and all the turbulence and all of that from the typhoon, I'm pretty sure the plane made a couple of loopity-loops. Well, anyway, picture yourself going to an amusement park, getting on a roller coaster and trying to go to sleep. That's what the flight was like. But anyway, I made it back 70 hours later on an hour and a half of sleep, so was pretty wore out. Had to be back where I was living the next morning to sign the final divorce papers. And then, just to add more punishment to my body, I hopped in a vehicle and drove 8 hours that night all the way back down here to get to Newport. So it's taken me a couple of days to recoup from that trip. But now I've made it here and starting to assess some of the damage. And like I say, we're talking 5 weeks after this hurricane come through here. There's houses destroyed, people's belongings out on the side of the road. I mean, just lost everything. So, like I say, this was all planned ahead of time. This is not something that I just come back here to do because of a hurricane here. After everything went on in Virginia where I was at, I had made up my mind I was moving back to Tennessee. I don't know how many people know or been to eastern part of Tennessee, but in these Smoky Mountains, this is God's gift right here. This is absolutely beautiful. When I lived here, I just loved it. Well, anyway, my choice was to come back and basically start a new life. Well, by losing my sugar levels the way they were, I lost my CDL. So my source of income was gone. That's the reason I pretty much got into the mission work. It's something that I can do. I spent 20 years of my life doing FEMA work. Now, I know a lot of people's mind right now, FEMA's not a good thing to talk about, but I spent 20 years of doing it, so I have plenty of experience in being in hurricanes and stuff like that, disasters. So that was another reason. One thing I want you to see, if you can see it here to the right, there is a railroad trestle right there in the river. As big as that is, as heavy as that is to hold a loaded train, it's in the river. But anyway, I have plenty of experience in this type of work. I also was a contractor in Virginia, had contractor's license and all that. So that's just the way that the choices that I made and what I was going to do. I only have 3 or 4 years for retirement, but I'm still capable enough to use my hands and do this work. So come back to Tennessee, starting over. But anyway, this company that I have formed here, I'll know probably within the week if all the names that I've chosen and everything, once it's finalized, I'll release the name. But anyway, it's going to be a handyman service here in East Tennessee. And most people are in business to make money, have a good life. All right. This here, as long as it pays our bills and keeps everything going, is all I'm interested in doing. But that being said, 20% of every dollar that this company makes will go right back into mission work. 17% of it will stay right here in East Tennessee. Even regardless whether storm damage or not, there's people here that are having a hard time. There's people having a hard time everywhere in the United States, and I can help them out. If they have small repairs that need to be done in their house, they can contact me on this YouTube channel, and that's the way I'm going to handle it. Their name will never be out here on this channel. Their face will never be on here. People are having a hard enough time as it is. There's no sense to stick them on TV and humiliate them. I just don't think that's right. There's too many people out there right now that love to see someone that's having a rough time, and just you know how society is. I'm not interested in doing that. I want to help the people out, let them stay anonymous, just get the work done. But anyway, 17% of the money will stay right here in East Tennessee. The other 3% will go to the Philippines. When I made that trip over and set that mission up, every single bit of that come out of my pocket. I didn't ask for any donations. I'm not asking for none now. Everything that I do for this mission will be done with my own hands. I will make the money. Now, if there's any businesses out there that would like to advertise on the channel, please do. You will be able to see where your funds are going. I don't have big fancy houses. I don't have big fancy covers. Don't plan on having any. So it's not to fill my pockets. It will be you'll be able to see where the money is going. like I say, we're here just to help people. That's what we're here for. And this day and time, the way things are, I think the United States, well, even the world, would be much, much happier place for everybody if people would just stop, check on your neighbor, not say, hey, hi, how you doing? You ask them really, how are you doing? Is there anything I can do to help you? Those days seem to be gone. Everybody's worried about themselves. That's it. No one wants to seem to help anyone out. It's kind of sad to see this, what this country has actually come to. When I flew back in Thursday night into LA, Wednesday night into LA, the first thing I seen flying in was, just fires everywhere. First thing crosses my mind, well, the election results didn't go well here. I left the place where there's mafia and all this and machine guns everywhere, and I'm going to get into LAX and the National Guard's going to be here trying to calm things down. Well, it ended up being all the fires that we've seen, and it burnt, and it's still burning at this time, and it just burnt many homes, and there's lives disrupted there. But anyway, I finally made it home. Got down here in Tennessee, and just riding around seeing some of the damage. I just moved away from here 2 years ago, so it's not like a lot has changed, but seeing some of this stuff that's gone now that I remember, like I say, that train trestle back there, that's a lot of weight right there that was moved by water. Interstate 40 is completely gone. It's just unreal the force that water had. But like I say, we're here now. Hopefully within the next week we'll have everything lined up to where we can start getting in here working on some houses, stuff like that. The drywalls and all these homes is going to have to be taken out and redone. You got electrical stuff that's been underwater, and that's two things right there that doesn't mix very well. But anyway, that's kind of a breakdown as to what got me to this point, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. My mission trip over to the Philippines, I was on the plane en route to the Philippines on a deal that had about 3 months of background checks and just a bunch of stuff for me to go where I went and to what I was getting into. It's unreal the amount of stuff we had to go through in order for me to even go there. So it was a type deal that I could not cancel. So I had to continue on with the trip, continue on with the mission over there. But like I say, once we got to the point to where I could leave, I returned back here to Tennessee. And it's time to get to work here and help these people out. Like I say, 20% of every dollar that this business makes will go back into this mission. There's 20 years from now, you'll still see stuff from these floods. This is not something that's just going to go away. Every single one of these houses are pretty much going to have to be gutted. At least the bottom 4 or 5 foot. The drywall is destroyed. I don't know how well you can see it, but in these fields here to the right, there's mattresses, just a little bit of everything laying out there. Like I said, it was very bad in this area. All these little villages down through here, it's just completely wiped, completely off of the map. This house here to the right, the car they have there, you can see it's been totally underwater. The house It's been cleaned up to the top windows of the house. But look how high this water got. It got completely over this bridge. All of this is wiped out. There's rafting companies up and down this river everywhere. I mean, just gone. Business is completely gone. This little town right here, it was just completely destroyed. Every bit of this was completely underwater. All of the stone that you see right here in this river, it was not there before these floods. Just businesses after businesses just completely gone. And when you get over here, this was a rafting company. That was all of their rafting stuff over there. Look at the towers for their zip lines and all that. I mean, just completely destroyed.